Another big story, this happened in Delhi. You may want to think of it as just a municipal corporation election, but it has huge symbolic value because of the circumstances leading up to it. There was a 75-day standoff. Today, Delhi finally got a mayor. The fourth attempt at choosing a mayor turned out to be successful. Aam Aadmi Party Shelly Oberoi defeated the BJP candidate Rekha Gupta by 34 votes. Since the MCD elections, which the AAP won in December, elections for a mayor were postponed 3 times. There was a prolonged tussle between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party over voting rights given to nominated members. Today's election was conducted following a Supreme Court order. The AAP's Ale Mohammad Iqbal has been elected as deputy. Now, 10 nominated MPs, 14 nominated MLAs, and 241 elected councillors voted today. Shelly Oberoi, a former Delhi University professor, got 150 votes. Rekha Gupta of the BJP got 116. That's 3 more than the number of BJP councillors in the MCD, and also 2 independent legislatures and a member of the Congress voting for the BJP candidate. So, as we mentioned, before today, there were 3 attempts at holding mayoral polls in Delhi, and each of those attempts was suspended because of chaos in the House. The first attempt was on the 6th of January. Councillors from both AAP and the BJP came to blows. They raised slogans against each other. The flashpoint was the swearing in of nominated members. Aam Aadmi Party claimed that BJP made the aldermen take oath first to give them voting rights for the election for the post of mayor. And then the next attempt was on the 24th of January. Once again, there was ruckus in the House between AAP and BJP councillors. When the process for voting of mayoral election was about to start, AAP councillor Mukesh Goel raised objections, saying that the nominated members do not have the right to vote. And then on the 6th of February, the polls were suspended for a 3rd time. BJP members walked out of the chamber shouting slogans against AAP and Arvind Kejriwal, while AAP members protested in the House for nearly 5 hours. So what were the major flashpoints that led to the polls being stalled as many as 3 times? AAP and BJP members were unable to agree on the question of allowing nominated members to vote. The AAP had strongly opposed voting rights for the alderman nominated by the Lieutenant Governor, who is the centre's representative in Delhi, and Arvind Kejriwal's party alleged that these members were inclined to support the BJP. AAP councillors and MLAs had protested over the alderman and not the elected representatives being administered the oath of office. Also, AAP had opposed the appointment of Satya Sharma by the Lieutenant Governor as presiding officer, recommending Mukesh Goel instead, who is the senior-most councillor in the House, for the post. The Congress had announced its abstention, sparking allegations from AAP of a possible deal between the Congress and the BJP. Now, 3 failed attempts at polls prompted Shelly Oberoi to move to the Supreme Court, which finally ended the dispute. The SC said that the alderman nominated by the Lieutenant Governor cannot vote. Judges led by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud said that nominated members cannot go for the election. The bench also said that the constitutional provision in this regard is very clear. So what happens then? While today is a significant victory for the Aam Aadmi Party, the party is now faced with the far daunting task of getting an upper hand in the standing committees. While the new mayor is the nominal head of the civic body, it is the standing committees which have the executive powers. A mayor's powers are limited to calling special meetings of the House, declaring quorum for the House to convene sittings, and of course disqualifying members if they do not furnish details of their assets and liabilities. Powers to grant financial approval to projects, discussions related to and the finalization of policies are under the ambit of the standing committees. The standing committees have 18 members, 6 of them are elected. These are by the councillors. The remaining 12 will be elected by ward committees later. Having a clear majority in the committee is crucial for any political party to have control of policy and financial decisions of the MCD. All right, I'll be joined in a moment by Anuja Kapoor of the BJP. Priyanka Chopra of the Aam Aadmi Party is joining us as well. Priyanka, so is it fair to say that after 3 failed attempts, today a 4th attempt, finally Delhi has a mayor, but not without the help of the Supreme Court, which rapped the LG on his knuckles and said that the nominated members do not have the right to vote in MCD elections?
Good evening, Zaka. That is correct. That it was very clear because the constitutional provisions in this regard are very clear that the alderman had no right to vote. But you see the behavior of the BJP since the very start. They tried all their tricks with delaying the elections. There was demarcation. There was segregation of wards as per their convenience. Once that happened, they called in their 17 ministers and cabinet ministers who campaigned in Delhi and did a Hindu-Muslim politics. They failed there in Delhi. After that, Adesh Gupta ji accepted defeat and said he will not be contesting the mayoral election. Then the BJP flip-flopped again. Then 3 attempts were made. At all points, BJP created ruckus. It is very clear now that we had no reason to create ruckus. This is the narrative that the BJP was trying to build, and they failed there too. We, in fact, have filed FIRs against their corporators who injured ours grievously. That happened as well. They used their favorite allies. They used CBI and the ED as well. That failed as well. So finally, we had to seek the intervention of the Honorable Supreme Court, who upheld the law, and the provision which was as is clear, the proviso to 243.
No, I'll come to this CBI and ED and stuff because there's been a development on that story as well in 1 second. But Anuja Kapoor of the BJP is joining us. And Anuja Kapoor, it's fair to say that the Supreme Court really rapped the Delhi LG on his knuckles when it said that the nominated members or the aldermen have no business even coming to the House, let alone vote for the mayoral elections. It's only after that, and the Supreme Court came down so hard that your party had no choice but to relent to these elections. And finally, today we have a mayor after a good 2 months since the election happened.
Zaka Saab, I would just like to say first, congratulations to the mayor and the deputy mayor. Secondly, what we're talking about is the standing committee. I think the rules need to be made. Confusions happen everywhere, and now we have a rule. So I think there is nothing to debate on it. First of all, we were not the ones who were doing the ruckus. The ruckus was still there today also. You have seen the newly elected mayor, how she behaved the minute she was a mayor. She allowed the phones in the house, and she allowed to click the pictures of the standing committee members of Aam Aadmi Party. And when BJP had a talk about it, we put forward in a strong position, and we said that we are going to do the election again of this, and we have complained. The 3 standing committee members have complained to the commissioner and mayor and the MCD. So we are committee, and we are talking about it, that this is not going to happen. So you can very well see what they are talking about. They do not, the secret ballot act does not allow the phones inside the house also. So I don't know what they are talking about, the rules and regulations. I think they do not follow the rules and regulations themselves. How can you allow the mobile phones inside the house during this period? And I think this should also be taken into cognizance.
Okay, no, mobile phone or no mobile phone, like I said, after 3 failed attempts, finally in the 4th attempt, Delhi finally has a mayor after 2 months after the election, and the people of Delhi spoke. But I want to go back to Priyanka Chopra, and you talked about, BJP's favorite tools, CBI, ED, IT, etc. That doesn't seem to be over yet, because against your Deputy Chief Minister today, sanction to prosecute has been given by the Home Ministry. This is basis the LG's feedback that there was an FBU that your government was running, not just to quote-unquote allegedly snoop on members of the opposition, but also on members of your own party, madam.
I find these allegations laughable for several reasons. Let me begin sequentially. They could not do an Operation Lotus like Karnataka, Meghalaya, Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Goa and Delhi. So they are bitter about it. Also, what you will see, you'll recall, Zaka, there was a Chunglu committee in 2017. The Chunglu committee under the Najib Jang, when he was the lieutenant governor, they went through all our files. Each file they went through, and after a few years, they had to give us a clean check. Now, they have such a flawed law and order running under them that the Chunglu committee had no complaints then. And now after 7 years, suddenly they wake up and they're alleging one more thing. So they're just managing the optics. What they want to show to the world is that we are corrupt like them. Because the CBI should ideally be going to Madhya Pradesh, where there's a midday meal scheme, corruption allegation in the CAG report itself. But no CBI there. No CBI at Adani's door. No JPC for Adani. No CBI in, say, Karnataka, where it is called a 40% ki sarkar, and the contractors are committing suicide and naming BJP ministers. No CBI there. No CBI there on Hemant Biswa Sarma, who Amit Shah ji said is the most corrupt politician. So, what is this? Their law and order is so flawed that Chunglu committee में भी नहीं मिला. 8 साल बाद ये जाग रहे हैं. This is the state.
So
you know,
Anuja
status of
Kapoor,
law and
respond
order
to
under-
that. Also, Anuja Kapoor, I think what is being asked by the Aam Aadmi Party is why this double standard? Karnataka में तो आप CBI, ED, IT नहीं भेजते. बाकी जगह जहां बीजेपी की सरकार है वहां पे आप एजेंसीज नहीं भेजते. सिर्फ ये ऑपोजिशन के लिए ही है क्या ये भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ जो कार्रवाई है?
तो कर तो लिया इन लोगों ने शुरू FBU को. He wanted CID. He made his own CID. So what is it to talk about? So he has a CID. He couldn't have Delhi police. So he had a Punjab police. You know what he has done? He sent the Punjab police here in Delhi to, arrest many people from BJP. So what to say? They just keep, victim playing baby cards. And I think what they are telling it to me or to BJP, let's please go in the court and then talk about it. It is not us. It is the CBI who has put it through. It is the CBI who has put it through. It is not us. And CBI is a constitutional body. And I think they don't believe in Supreme Court. At one day they will believe in Supreme Court. The other day they will not believe in Supreme Court. Then CBI is doing something. CBI is doing something for Congress and many other people. They are very happy. But when something happens to them, they start crying. Now, Satyendra Jain,
but Priyanka Kakkad, isn't there a cloud over your party which came to power promising that हम कट्टर ईमानदार हैं, हम भ्रष्टाचार मिटा देंगे? I mean, it's not just what happened today. The FBU is just one part of it. The liquor gate scandal, Satyendra Jain scandal, DTC bus scandal. Even if let's say, I buy whatever you say, even if there is not an iota of truth in any of these allegations, but in public perception, people are like, ये तो बाकी सब पार्टियों की तरफ ही है, ये भी तो चोर है.
That is their intention, Zaka, but they are failing. That is the reason that we have been elected thrice in Delhi. That is the reason that 15 years of their misrule has ended in Delhi. That is the reason we made an entry into Gujarat. That is the reason people gave us a Bhari Bahumat in Punjab. That is the reason we have 2 mayors in India now. We are a 10-year-old party. So their allegations don't stick. And people realize that this is a jhootha corrupt party. I'm telling you with utmost certainty that all the corruption, this is the most corrupt party India has ever seen, unfortunately. And we have complained regularly. It's not like we haven't made complaints, but the investigation agencies are with the central government and no investigation happens.
Okay, Anuja Kapoor, I'll give you the final word. Forget about everything else. Liquor gate का केस भी ले लीजिए. You had multiple raids, पूछताछ हुई मनीष सिसोदिया का, and then charge sheet में तो उनका नाम है ही नहीं.
So charge sheet में नाम नहीं है तो इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी ना कि वो accused नहीं है. FIR में नाम है. It will come up, and when he will come up, he will join Satyendra Jain and say hello to him inside, and Sukesh also. So I find it very funny when I sit with Aam Aadmi Party, no knowledge whatsoever, and they just start, doing blah blah blah. Are manifesto they can't do it. Guarantee to rejuvenate Yamuna, pollution, 3,000 hospital beds, Jal Lokpal bill, 20 degree colleges, power stations, what not they have talked about. So look at it in Punjab, look at it in Tarantan, look what Bhagwat Maan CM is doing. People are coming inside the houses.
Okay.
This is Aam Aadmi Party who's sitting
and
talking and talking.
Let's call time on this. Thank you very much, Priyanka Kakkad, Anuja Kapoor, for joining us. Like I said, at least one thing is clear. Delhi, the national capital today, has a mayor, something that should have happened weeks ago, but finally, after all the hand-wringing and all of the back and forth between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party, finally, today there is a mayor of Delhi, and hopefully she can fix some of Delhi's pressing problems. Let's now move on